The innovations at GoSun are continuing. Welcome back to another Techstination interview. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from GoSun is founder and CEO Patrick Sherwin. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Fred. It's a super pleasure to be back with you.
Well, it's great to see you, and always something new under the sun. You've partnered with Camp365 to come up with the GoSun Camp365. You're outdoing yourselves again. Give us the overview here.
So the GoSun Camp365 is a portable cabin on wheels. It's essentially an RV that's ultralight and streamlined. So you can pull it with any vehicle with a Class 1 tow hitch, which is often going to be your daily driver. And when you get to camp, you set it up on kind of any surface. It could be unleveled surface. The legs dispatch to control the self-leveling. And then the cabin is about 100 square foot, 700 cubic feet, and it's complete with all the appliances that you need to thrive and comfort while you're off grid.
And these are GoSun appliances. So tell us more about what's inside here.
Yeah, well, we build ultra efficient appliances to help people when they're outdoors, and also, stuff to be there for resilience, for your preparedness plan. So we basically perform essential functions: cooking, cooling, sanitation, water purification, brewing coffee. And we do all of this using the sun, using 12-volt battery power. And these devices becoming so efficient, they use about 1/10 the energy of a traditional appliance. So you don't need as much power to get the job done in the first place. So we have our ultra efficient portable refrigerator. We have our water purification and sanitation system called the GoSun Flow. We have our solar oven that becomes a water heater called the GoSun Fusion. And that's just the beginning of the core systems that are throughout the Camp365 to allow someone to thrive, whether at a campground or more in like an off-grid, austere environment, camping in the middle of a farm, a field out in the forest where there aren't any services.
And there are solar panels that this is equipped with as well?
Right. Yeah, there's 3 different panels and several configurations. Some cases you may be camped under a tree, so you have to put the panels out in the field where the sun is, move them around throughout the day. So essentially everything that GoSun creates is highly portable. And so in the case of solar, you find where your sun is. We have a table that has 130 watts built into the top of the table. Use it as a table when you're preparing dinner. Clear the table off, place it in the sun when you need to recharge the batteries. So that's essentially, you can hang the panels on the side of the Camp365, and put them up on the roof so they're up and out of the way, and then you can put them on the ground.
Is there a battery system included with the Camp365?
Yeah, it's a really strong lithium-ion battery system that provides enough power for basic daily living, running laptops, cell phones, cameras, charging simple devices, grinding coffee. The larger loads, things like air conditioning, heating, your larger hardware devices aren't easily run on this product. So we've designed, again, our appliances match kind of a very efficient, while not compromising performance or convenience. And then when you go to heating and cooling, these larger loads like air conditioning, you do then need to be grid connected. The Camp365 comes with an air conditioning unit that's the most efficient version that we could find. However, it'll only run for half of a day on the battery-based solar system, because there's simply not enough juice to run an air conditioner 24/7.
Let's take a look at a video that you've produced.
Hello everyone, I'm Patrick Sherwin, CEO of GoSun, and I've got a really cool thing to show you. This is an off-grid portable cabin on wheels, the GoSun Camp365, a collaboration between an amazing, innovative RV manufacturer and GoSun, a company that makes super efficient appliances. This is a solar-powered cabin. You pop up anywhere. Let's take a look today. The first thing I want to show you is the self-leveling system. There's 4 outriggers that come out of the Camp365. Each has a really innovative leg. These legs gives the camper the ability to set itself up on an uneven ground, which is very common, especially when you're camping in a more off-grid, austere environment. But it just takes 30 seconds each or so. I just realized that I needed to lower the tongue here to get it a little bit more level, because we are on a bit of a slope here today. So it's important to note here that this is all about self-reliance. So you don't have to be at an overcrowded campground to use this product. The idea is that it has all of its own power, water, kitchen, bath, and it's an autonomous self-reliant vehicle. This is for your outdoor fun, and maybe it's a part of your family's bug out plan. The other thing that's super interesting to point out here is this product can live in your driveway or on the side of the street, and it doesn't need to be protected. It protects itself. So it's not gonna get moldy or dusty or dirty. It's completely hermetically sealed up from the elements, just the way it is. So this camper is shockingly easy to set up. I mean, literally you're talking about less than 5 minutes. We're basically ready to drop the sides. This is the part that's super interesting. And Camp365 did a phenomenal job developing these gas springs. This can be done by one person. You think that there's all this weight that's gonna fall on you. It's quite the opposite. In fact, you have to pull it down yourself. Everything is lockable. So these unbelievable hardware points are all locked with the same key, and you can keep everything secure. We're now gonna lift the walls into position to create the cabin. And it's gonna create a 100 square foot cabin with 700 cubic feet, a wide open platform for you to do anything inside. Here we go. The final thing I'll need to do is get the 4 spanner bars, and then you just put a little tension on the spanner bars so it gives the Aqualon fabric a nice structure. Welcome inside the Camp365. This material is ridiculous. This is not canvas, so it's not going to get moldy or rot. This is Aqualon, and there's no coating. It's just extremely durable material, and there's 2 layers. The main reason for those 2 layers is so that there's a trapped airspace between the outer wall and the inner wall, and that creates a really great insulation so that you can have a little bit more protection from the heat in the summer or the cold in the winter. Okay, we're gonna set up the awning next. The poles to set up the awning are here inside the nose cone. They're little telescoping guys, and it's just it's a classic little tethering project, and just increases your outdoor living space. This is all about indoor-outdoor living. And there's an awning on both sides. We've got it set up as well to put solar on the roof, on the sides, or just out in the field, depending on where your access to the sun may be. We've got our shady spot, and we've got our solar spot. So we're gonna go ahead and put the solar panels on the other side. Since we're GoSun, it comes with a ton of solar. We love this panel 100. Comes with 2 of these, as well as a table 130. We can live out here autonomous and free and never have to worry about plugging into the grid. This is all about making the most out of every available square inch of space. This is the end cap that goes on the back of the Camp365 that we've turned into a table. 3 locations. There's 1 on either side underneath the awnings, and then 1 on the inside. A nice big surface to do your prep work. Inside the Camp365, we've got a giant interior storage space. This houses your toilet, which you take out to use, 2 beds, which can be 2 singles or a queen when put together, and then a bunch of other GoSun related appliances, and of course plenty of room for your own personal gear. It's getting a little warm in here, so we have actually 5 beautiful windows so we can get a nice breeze. We've got these giant windows, as you can see. For cooling, Camp365 comes with 2 fans. You get a breeze going, and this place cools down super quick, but we couldn't just rely on fans and breezes alone. So when you are connected to the grid, you can use this wonderfully efficient air conditioning unit. This only pulls about 350 watts. It's 8,000 BTUs, and this will cool off this small 100 square foot space in an instant. It's not perfect for running on our battery and solar-based system. You only get a couple of hours of runtime. So this does help to be connected to the grid when you're running AC. But since it's such a small, well-insulated space, you can continue to camp all year round. At night, we've got a nice, super ultra efficient LED light, which is dimmable too. Provides task lighting, mood lighting. We're gonna build a bit of a kitchenette here. This is the GoSun Chill 40-liter fridge. It can be accessed from the inside, obviously, as well as from the outside. Now you've got cold beers, vegetables, meats and cheeses. And up top, here's the GoSun Flow, our portable kitchen sink, as well as water purification system. So with the push of a button, you've got water, you'll be sitting here doing the dishes. You can supply water to the device, say from a creek or a puddle, to fill up the tanks. There's actually 24 gallons of fresh water stored in these 2 tanks. You fill these up from the outside just using a hose. But what's neat here is that these tanks can be cleaned. This is very rare in an RV. You can simply just take the lid off to make sure it's nice and clean. When it becomes drinking water, you can run this through the Flow's filtration system. So no matter what water you have stored in here, you can always make it nice and clean for drinking. So we did have to pivot and use propane for the hot water. This is an on-demand hot water heater. We've made it extremely efficient. With the push of a button, you've got a hot shower anywhere you want. And of course, you've got a shower curtain that we set up so that you can have privacy. When you're out camping, you're living outdoors often, you need a hot shower. So let's show you how to make a solar shower as well. The Camp365 comes with a GoSun Fusion. This is our hybrid solar oven. This actually turns into a water heater. You can get a hot shower in about 45 minutes with nothing but sunshine. And all you need to do is just fill it up with water and point it at the sun and let the sun do the magic. So as I mentioned, this camper is designed to be off-grid and autonomous, so you don't have to stay hooked up to water and power. And the way we do that is through a bunch of super efficient appliances. We've got the Power 1100. This is a lithium-ion battery that has all kinds of ports and power outputs. It can run the appliances on the Camp365. The cooler accessed right here, so you can fill that up with your drinks and food before the trip. It's got onboard DC and AC power, thanks again to the lithium-ion energy storage. And then it's got our flagship solar oven, the hybrid GoSun Fusion. In the nose cone, you've kind of got access to all your power and water. And what's interesting is even when this is closed up in your garage, you can still access all of these components. And all of them are also designed to basically come out of the camper so you can use them in your regular daily life. The Camp365 is an ultra-light RV at only 1,800 pounds, so you can tow this with any vehicle with a Class 1 tow hitch. This is a 2-inch ball, and it has automatic electric brakes. The standard 7-pin connection is the preferred, so your vehicle starts braking, and so does the Camp365, so you don't put that additional load. We also have the 4-pin connection too, depending on what each vehicle you're driving. Right here on the nose cone is where you bring in shore power. So if you're wanting to charge the battery on board, if you're wanting to run the air conditioner or heater, this guy brings in 30 amps at single phase. And then over here is where we bring in all of our solar power. So this is good for 30 amps at roughly 12 volts for all your solar. There you have it. This is the GoSun Camp365, a portable off-grid cabin to help you get out on those adventures and stay out longer. It's everything you need for a couple of weeks for water, power, and all the appliances necessary for pretty comfortable off-grid living. Thanks so much for checking us out. I hope you feel the good energy.
Well, that looks terrific, Patrick. And I guess one question that people would always ask, I don't think you were able to fit a bathroom in here, right?
We actually did fit a cassette toilet. So we do have a toilet that's good to go, and we have a full shower with more than, I think it's about 45 minutes of hot water. So yeah, we this is not about compromise. This is important that we have a degree of comfort, sanitation. So it does come with a full bath, you could say.
That sounds pretty exciting. So tell us about bringing this to market and what availability and pricing are going to look like.
Sure. So we are building the first 10 units this summer. And so we're taking reservations now. A $5,000 deposit gets you your place in line. We've already sold about half of those in the first couple of days of the launch. The delivery in September, the full all-in price will be about $32,500 for the GoSun Camp365. And we're going to be building these, for the next several years. With respect to cost and efficiencies, that it's still yet to be seen exactly how much we can afford there in terms of the price. At the moment, we're very cost competitive with the RV industry, and we've gone down an angle that's quite different than most RVs, which are designed to be at campgrounds tethered to shore power, water, and sewer. We've really tried to encourage folks to be able to go wherever they want, in the national forest, BLM land. They can use Boondockers Welcome or Harvest Host and stay on people's farms and really avoid, overcrowded campgrounds. And so this is sort of the first version of a GoSun RV, and we do intend to stay in the space, making it better and better with each iteration.
Yeah, you were toying with the idea before of the tiny house concept. Is this a more workable solution, or are you still looking at that?
Yeah, this basically became our solution for shelter. The tiny house that we launched about 3 years ago, COVID really shook things up in the building trades, and it turned into something that was just very challenging to manage with respect to all the customization, procurement of materials, and of course the sort of labor force that's required. So we had to pivot on our tiny house, which we originally had sold, with like a $70,000 price tag. That grew and grew and grew with COVID, and the complications just outpaced our ability to stay ahead of the demand. So we basically went to a model where we can produce a device for shelter that's much more, manufacturable at scale. And we've partnered with Camp365, who has a really modern, cutting edge production facility, so we can keep up with demand. We could ship a unit a day at this stage. And again, in a few years, maybe that's, we'll be making a unit every hour is the goal.
That's really terrific. And you mentioned the idea of being able to go off grid with these, and that can be so important today because many campgrounds are not that comfortable. They're full, they're busy, and maybe you can't even get in. Whether you're talking about private campgrounds or even some in the park system.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've built out a little Class B, basically built out a Sprinter ourselves, so we don't have to plan when we head out on vacation, and that's been a big help during the COVID era. And I wanted to help bring that to others, but not everyone wants to have a giant van they drive around, and certainly not everyone can afford to have a van set up just for camping, and then a separate vehicle to get to and from work. So this really ties that all together. You can have your existing vehicle, put a tow hitch on it, take this out and just go. And you're free to camp just about anywhere. You can dry camp or boondock, just about anywhere. And so the sense of freedom is huge, and you're not killing your budget, spending $50 a night to stay in a campground, or huge outrageous gas bills because the mileage on your vehicle has gone to 1/3 of its typical. You hardly even know that the Camp365 is back there when you're pulling it because it's so light and streamlined. And then it's a real breeze to set up. When you get to camp, it only takes 5 minutes to build the cabin, and another 5 or 10 minutes to get your stuff set up in there. And again, you have all these conveniences that you may not have otherwise had if you were camping on the ground.
And tell us more about the types of vehicles that would be able to pull something like this.
You could pull it with a Toyota Prius, Subaru, small SUVs. You do not need a truck, which is the typical thought when you think of RV. You think of these more like a teardrop RV. I don't know if you've seen those before, but very light, very streamlined. And, I think there's only a few vehicles in America that don't have the ability to attach a class 1 hitch, like just the smallest vehicles that a manufacturer might make, like a Honda Fit, maybe the only things that you're unable to. And the trailer has electric brakes, automatic electric brakes. Those interface with the tow vehicle. So when you push the brakes on the tow vehicle, the trailer brakes kick in. So you're not getting an additional load on your brakes either.
Very, very interesting. So that's certainly a great feature here. So the first ones are going to be available, you said, this fall?
Right. Yeah, we'll be shipping the first 10 in September. And we've already got about half of that fleet sold in the last couple of days. So it's definitely a good time to get in. You can find it at gosun.co/products/camp365.
Or they can, if they just go to gosun.co, they're going to be able to find you there anyway, along with everything else that you make. So tell us about some of the newest stuff that you've got on the market now.
Well, yeah, we've definitely come up with a lot of innovations probably since last time we talked. Let's see. So during the COVID pandemic, we accelerated development of a water purification and sanitation system. And that's basically, any puddle or any creek or lake, you have a little USB powered pump that pushes water through a 3-stage filter, making that drinking water. In addition, you can, with a little faucet, you can attach anywhere to have a kitchen sink, that literally can just come out of your backpack, all of this being solar powered. That also turns into a shower in the case that you want to go that far if you're off grid. The forest fires and brush fires in Australia and the American West helped us spawn another innovation where we noticed that a lot of campgrounds were saying no fire whatsoever. We couldn't really live without our coffee in the morning. So we came up with an all-in-one travel mug that's a French press and a 12-volt heater. And that's called the GoSun Brew. And that product has been flying off the shelves just, again, to kind of find that space where portability was needed and a really strong essential need. In this case, coffee or tea. It previously, water or sanitation. We've done a lot with power banks of recent. We're coming out with bigger and better power banks every year. These often running on lithium ion, providing USB, USB-C, 12 volt, as well as a 110 volt AC. So kind of supplanting the gas fired generator and really helping us enter the more electronic digital age. As we all know, while we're outdoors, we still often need a lot of electronics to accompany that experience. We've been working on a bunch of lower cost solar oven solutions. We've been working on hybridizing our solar ovens, making them not just available to cook food in the sun, but also cook food with electric power, because you're cooking inside a vacuum insulated chamber that's so efficient compared to any other solar oven or any other cooking style. You only need about 1/10 the electricity to cook a meal as you would if you were cooking it at home in a toaster oven or a stove.
Really, really terrific stuff. And I guess the coming electrification of motor vehicles, which is just getting started, can mean a lot for you too, in terms of what you can do with some of your technology.
Yeah, and increasing your range. So if you're going to go camping in an electric vehicle, your trailer, your RV, your pool behind, your pop-up, whatever, it's going to destroy your range. They're typically 3,000 pounds or more, and that's tough to do in a sedan to begin with. An electric sedan really gets the batteries get drawn down quickly in that scenario. So with the GoSun Camp365, we're double or tripling the average range that an electric vehicle may find themselves when pulling a camper.
Terrific. Once again, for more information, the site is gosun.co. Patrick Sherwin, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Well, thank you, Fred. I look forward to hearing more about your adventures next time.